Welcome back to my favorite tropes on SpeterTV. If you're a fellow Floridian, you've seen a whole bunch of alligators, but what is a Big Lipped Alligator Moment? As always, we're going to tvtropes.org for our answer. And there we find that a Big Lipped Alligator Moment, or a BLAM, is a non sequitur of a scene that, without warning, just gets really bizarre in some way. An out-of-nowhere departure from established normalcy that doesn't affect the plot going forward and isn't really referenced again. It specifically has to appear out of nowhere, make no sense in context, and not impact the story at all. The term comes from the Nostalgia Critic and then Nostalgia Chick review of Ferngully, in reference to All Dogs Go to Heaven, specifically the scene with the big-lipped alligator. But weirdly enough, aside from general channel awesome controversy weirdness, this scene is actually not a true example because it actually affects the plot later. So what are some examples? Of course, there's the infamous pink elephant scene from Dumbo, where a baby elephant gets drunk and hallucinates and then that just ends, never to be referenced again. There's the This World is Something New to Me musical number in the Rugrats movie, where a bunch of newborn celebrity caricatures sing a song about being newborns and pee a rainbow, despite the fact that the main newborn, Dill, can't at all talk, even in baby talk. There's the rap battle at the end of the SpongeBob SquarePants movie Sponged Out of Water with Bubbles the dolphin. There's the Dragon Ball Z Dead Zone movie where Gohan has a whole dinosaur dancing hallucination after eating a weird apple, and another random Gohan song later. Izzy's Got the Frizzies musical number in the Robot Rodeo episode of Phineas and Ferb was a pretty random one even by the show's standards, and especially weird because they'd already had their obligatory song for the episode. SpongeBob, which I could have mentioned earlier when I mentioned Sponge Out of Water, has a number of examples. There's the Davy Jones locker scene with Davy Jones. There's the scene with the hot sauce drop in Karate Choppers. There's, the underwater gorilla scene that, even the show was like, what? There's the perfume department scene in Shanghai. And speaking of shows whose movies I mentioned, there's the Toy Palace episode of Rugrats. There's a moment where the big Thor toy gets zapped away by a time machine, implying that time travel exists in Rugrats and nobody cares. There was Nick Studio 10 just as a show, which would just come on and interrupt the show you're already watching, do some random gags that were never interesting, and then just end and go back to the show you were watching. There was the time that Robin Williams and Billy Crystal showed up on Friends just because they were literally near the set. They were just in the same building. There's the Disney World episode of Full House where Joey draws a sketch and it kind of comes to life. There was Emma Stone on iCarly for like 5 seconds. And there was that one little mute girl who would show up and stare at Spencer in that one episode. Just strange and unexplained. The Jaws 19 scene in Back to the Future Part 2 doesn't really add anything to the movie except a joke about the Jaws franchise and its seasonal rot. There's the moment in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 where Ego transforms into David Hasselhoff for a second, which, even though it almost kind of makes sense in the context of the story, it still, probably counts. And the tunnel scene from Willy Wonka, which I've never actually seen, but I know that scene. And now you've seen this video. Thank you so much for watching. Like this video if you like it, dislike it if you dislike it, subscribe if you're new, hit the notification bell to let your Speter sense tingle when I upload, and I'll hopefully see you next week. I can't guarantee things. Just wash your hands.